Boy Thompson joins on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop over 1,500 Toyotas indoors. One of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Wonderboy, thanks so much for the time, man. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man, and any time, brother.
All right, you got to tell us, man, where does the friendship from Jack Black come from, and how did it come to be that he is walking you out to the main event this weekend?
Well, to be honest with you, he messaged me literally 2 days ago. Was like, "Hey, man, look, we're still on tour. I'm not going to be able to make it, but I wish you best of luck. We'll be watching it from LA." So a little disappointed, but at the same time, it was pretty cool that he contacted me and was like, "Hey, man, at least he's not going to make it." But, he turned on the TV and he watched me walk out to his song Wonderboy by Tenacious D, and me having the nickname Wonderboy kind of set the whole thing off. So we ended up chatting after International Fight Week on FaceTime, and then he invited me and my brother out to one of his concerts in Wilmington, North Carolina. Still wasn't too far away from us. And got to hang out with him literally the entire concert. It was pretty awesome.
That is pretty badass. Now, what do you ever feel any pressure to do amazing, awesome things in the octagon? Because I feel like you have put yourself at such a high standard with knockouts. Leroy and I were, before you came on, we were watching your highlight careers. I'm like, who does stuff like this in the octagon over your illustrious career? Have you ever felt a pressure to live up to what people expect from you, which is video game stuff in the octagon?
Not really, to be honest with you. That's just kind of the way I fight, man. I mean, I've been in karate since I was 3 years old and been a part of the martial arts my entire life and competing since I was 15. And that karate style kind of brings out the best in me and unorthodox kicking abilities and things like that. So which make for, awesome knockouts.
How do you kick a guy over his shoulder when he's not looking? Like, I'm like, how is a guy staring at you? I watched you kicked, I forgot the guy's name. And he's looking right at you, and you hit him with an overhead leg kick. And I'm like, what are you looking at, dude? Like,
I know, man. I mean, it's funny because, those are the kicks that they don't expect, the ones that come over top of the shoulder. And it was the shoulder that was blinding him from the kick. Like, you couldn't see my leg come over. So that was actually a guy named Dan Stidge in my very first fight in the UFC, and probably my most memorable fights ever because, MC Hammer walked me out to the cage. I had George St. Pierre, the GOAT, in my corner, and it was awesome.
It's amazing, man. Me and Tobin get in this fight all the time, but listen, if a guy's a kicker, I'm gonna make sure that I got all of his kick game on tape, so he ain't gonna kick me in the face. And I'm watching these professionals, and I'm like, I don't know, man, because they're falling for it all the time.
They do, man, they do. And that's the tricky part of it, is being able to put your hands and feet together. Like, if I was just kicking, I'll see it coming. But if I put my hands in front of it, set it up in a combination, and look for that blow, then it's harder to kind of figure out and to see coming.
Oh man, now I'm terrified of kicking. That's the one thing. I'd rather get knocked out, but don't get head kicked, because those knockouts are brutal.
Yeah, like that's. Do you ever feel like Wonderboy? You ever feel bad with the idea that you have turned somebody into a meme like that? That this is going to be a time and again in their career. It's always awesome for you, but like on the other end of it, somebody is getting turned into a sack of potatoes because you roundhouse them.
Dude, yeah, man. It's funny because, it wasn't too long ago. It was the very first time I was ever knocked out. I ended up becoming a meme. I got hit with like a Superman punch, and I was like, man, why did this have to happen? And my dad's like, look, man, I mean, you made so many other people memes. It's about, you're in the game long enough, you're going to end up one. Right. So I've been there as well, man. I've been doing the knocking out and have been knocked out. And hopefully we'll it's only been one time, and hope we'll keep it that way.
Well, look, man, I can't wait for this fight. I'm excited to be in the building for it. You and Kevin, it feels like a fight fans match. Like you guys, it feels impossible that you guys would put on a boring fight. How do you see this matchup with Kevin? He's obviously a very talented striker and very charismatic. How do you look at him going into this matchup?
Oh man, he's a tough opponent, that's for sure. I mean, he's got his height, his length. He's got an 81-inch reach to my 75. So, he's got one of the longest reaches in the division, probably in the UFC. So that's going to be pretty fun to navigate during the fight, which is kind of why I do this, man. To be able to adapt to an opponent mid-fight, that chess match is what makes it fun. So, but it's going to be an exciting fight. We both had wrestlers our last fights. Didn't go too well. It wasn't as exciting as we wanted it to. And we're all about putting on a good performance and, putting on a show for the fans in the UFC. So this is going to be fire for sure.
Do you feel any part of it? We were talking about this earlier. Like, we get it. The wrestlers, they're great at this, but it's Wonderboy. We want to see cool stuff. And like you and Kevin Holland are guys who do cool stuff that the fans love seeing. You're the home run in baseball. You're the slam dunk in basketball. I mean, does it frustrate you at all that like the wrestlers, the way they go about it, or just these matchups? Because like it's part of the game, but everybody really wants to see what you're able to do at your best, more so than I don't know, but any type of wrestler would do at their best.
Yeah, man, exactly. My thoughts exactly too, because my last fight. I mean, it's crazy that fighters are, they're okay with holding you down and doing no damage. So my last 2 fights have been that way. Guys taking me down and just holding me down. It wasn't exciting at all. People want to see, what makes Wonderboy, and that's my striking ability, and that's what people want to see, and they what they get excited about. So it frustrates me a little bit. So, but it also motivates me to kind of be better, a better wrestler and a better grappler as well.
Well, we can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Can't wait.
Wonderboy, thanks for spending some time with this man, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Anytime, guys. I appreciate you, my friends. Y'all have a good one.
Okay.
There you go. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson joining us there.
So much better.
Yeah. Well, I told you.
So